Happy Thanksgiving. It is that time of the year. I love Thanksgiving. It is one of my favorites. I even got engaged on Thanksgiving. However, I had to modify all of those wonderful traditional recipes that I was so used to years ago when I became a pescatarian. I think I've perfected a few of them, and one of my favorites is these sweet potatoes. So I got these organic sweet potatoes. We're going to go make us a really great, delicious recipe that isn't quite as indulgent, but still a little indulgent. Not as quite candy yams, but still pretty tasty yams. Let's go make these. Okay, good people, let's get our sweet potatoes ready for the baking. So go ahead and get a vegetable peeler and peel your sweet potatoes. Get all the skin off and cut them into chunks. You can do large or small chunks, it's your preference. However, if you do smaller chunks, you're going to cook them for not as long. So I like to do them in large chunks initially, and then I'll cut them into smaller pieces once we put them into the pan. You'll see in a sec. So the really cool thing that I love about this recipe is that these sweet potatoes, along with a fun secret ingredient, are great for inflammation. They're packed with antioxidants. They're high in vitamin C and potassium. So you can feel great that while enjoying your Thanksgiving dish, you're also having a healthy and nutritious dish as well. So I used my Instant Pot for this recipe to cook my sweet potatoes because it goes so much faster. You can use your pot on the stove with water, but in this case I used my Instant Pot. Go ahead and put them into the Instant Pot for about 10 minutes on pressure cook. And then you can go ahead and get them out of the water immediately. Don't leave them in the water like I did. They came out a little softer than I wanted, but it still turned out great. If you do a smaller batch, or if you cut them into smaller pieces, go ahead and do it for about 5 minutes on pressure cook. So here we are. Can you see it? Our secret ingredient are pineapples. Yay, pineapples. Pineapples are delicious. They are sweet, so they add that nice sweetness that we need instead of the brown sugar that I traditionally grew up putting in my sweet potatoes. But they are also an amazing enzyme, and so they actually eat fat. Did you know that? Well, not eat it, but they burn fat. And I love pineapples. So we're going to do about a cup of pineapples with a 1/4 of a cup of honey. You can use your sweetener of preference. I used honey. You can use agave or yacon syrup. I'll show you what the yacon syrup looks like in a sec. It's a great low glycemic sweetener and a great replacement for this recipe. So I did about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can use a vanilla bean if you want. I would do 1 to 2 beans if you're going to do the straight bean. But in this case, I just used vanilla extract. Go ahead and put it in there, and I used a small little blender, and because I did a small batch of pineapples, and go ahead and get everything all mixed up for your glaze. And you want to pulse it until it's a bright yellow color. Look how beautiful that is, nice and golden. And this is what your pan looks like too. So you see how I put it in smaller pieces. So we're gonna make sure we have all the honey and the vanilla, everything mixed up in there. It's off the sides pretty good. And we are going to drizzle it over the potatoes. This is what the yacon syrup looks like. I just wanted to let you see what it looks like. Again, it's a great low glycemic replacement if you don't want to do honey. Okay, so now we are going to drizzle it over our potatoes. And make sure you're covering all of your potatoes. So that's why I made a whole cup of pineapples. So that we have enough to cover all of our potatoes. And I used about 3 to 4 sweet potatoes for this batch. So you can, if you're making a bigger batch, you can just up the numbers, up the measurements. Okay, so we have a little bit of Ceylon cinnamon. It's not even a full measurement. So that's why you just literally need a sprinkle. Ceylon cinnamon over cassia cinnamon has a little bit of a floral taste, so you don't need much. A little goes a long way, but it still does have that cinnamony taste. And as we all know, cinnamon is powerful and amazing, so it's really adding nutritional value to this recipe as well. A little dash of nutmeg, because what are sweet potatoes without nutmeg? And you're going to do a few cuts of butter. You can use plant-based butter if you're vegan, but we used real butter here. And this is what it's going to look like before you put it in the oven and cover. And you're going to cook it for about 20 minutes on 350. And look how beautiful. They are delicious. They are just an amazing addition to your Thanksgiving. You can't have Thanksgiving without your sweet potatoes. So you can feel great that, hey, I had my sweet potatoes, but I didn't have all that sugar, all the maple syrup and all the brown sugar. Not that it's not delicious, believe me. But if you are trying to transition to a healthier lifestyle, this is a way to enjoy this traditional Thanksgiving dish without all the extra sugar. So this is one of my faves. It took me a while to figure out what's the perfect replacement, but the sweet potatoes with the pineapples complement beautifully. I hope you enjoy this Thanksgiving recipe. Enjoy your holiday, and let me know if you like it in the comments. Don't forget to click and subscribe, and we can cook and create and get healthier together. Thanks again.